Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button. This ship will self-destruct in 3 minutes.
Never underestimate the power of the Schwartz.
What's going on, everybody? It's Jez7780 with what grinds my gears. What a day, what a day. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Shout out to Buck Rogers, Sam Ash, Pug, Barbecue Sauce. What's up, everybody? Yes, we are here back with another What Grinds My Gears. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. What a day, what a day, what a day, what a day. My goodness. Well, we're going to have things to cover, as you can see in the title. We're going to talk about the next-gen console November NPDs. Hint, hint, it's what we've been saying all along. Come on now. It's what we've been saying.
Rumors are true. We have received a small quantity of the action figure known as Turbo Man. I am not going to ask you people to be quiet again. Do you hear me? If you're not one of the lucky few, we have plenty of Turbo Man's faithful pet tiger Booster in stock.
Don't forget, you're my #1 customer.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Phil. So anyway, yo, what's up, Brian V? Yes, you're catching it live. So, yes, so that's a hint of November's MPDs. And then we got Cyberpunk 2020. Yes, they finessed us. And people are not happy about it. And I'll get into it. We'll get into it. So with that, let's do the show. Woo, woo, woo. Yes. What's up, Megasphere Control UI? If you're new here, hit that like button and hit that share button. Share this video out. Let's get double banger status. Shout out to the initiative. We finally found out at the Game Awards what they're working on. I'm going to talk about that even though it's not in the title. We're going to talk about that and talk about the next-gen MPDs and about Cyberpunk, the elephant in the room. Phil Ness 2077. Yes, that's right. Phil Ness, finessed every which way. Everybody's getting that finesse, man. 2020 has not stopped. So, share that video. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. We're growing in subscribers at like 650 now, around there. Please hit that subscribe button. Targeting that 1,000 milestone grinders. Oh, man, oh, man. So close, I guess, so far away. Who knows? But we're just going to keep plugging away at what grinds my gears. Yo, what's up, Cali Rex? Yes. We're going to keep plugging away here because that's what I do. Let's grind my gears. So, first, since I talking about double bangers and talking about 44 employees, the fellas and gals over at the initiative finally revealed their game or trailer at the Keeley Awards, which I didn't do a video on it. We did it live, stream over on Saltiest Podcast. You could check it out over there. It went through the impressions and the stuff like that. Like, I think it was a lot better than last year. I think they showed a lot more games. Announcements at least, not gameplay, but like announcements at least. And yo, what's up, Salty? Yo, check out Salty's video. He did a video today on the cyber finesse going on right here. So check out Salty's video that came out today. But with that, we did it over at Salty's podcast. We went over. I think that the show overall was, yes, the Last of Us 2 awards. Yes. Yep. They're like,
who is your daddy?
Every time the Last of Us was in the thing, it was like,
who is your daddy? Who is your daddy? Who is your daddy? Who is your daddy? Who is your daddy?
You son of a bitch.
And then Game of the Year.
Who is your daddy?
Yeah, that was pretty much The Last of Us 2 winning those awards, man. I liked both of them, Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't complete Ghost of Tsushima yet. I thought, my perception was that I think Game of the Year would have been better for Ghost of Tsushima as a franchise to kind of come out the gates and win Game of the Year. But because Last of Us, how much more recognition can that game get, right? But hey, man, Last of Us 2, I loved it. Okay, I thought it was great. Again, I'm not in about the characters like Joel's real and he lives down the street. What's up, Jihad? How you doing? It's not like Joel's my best friend next door and he gets smashed with a hammer. They're characters in a show. We don't like when people get killed off in this show, but if it's done right and it's done with the narrative in mind, hey, I was along for the ride. Let it go. I wasn't like, oh my God, Joel's ghost in the third one. It is what it is. And all the stuff that went on, the way they told it, the non-chronologic way that they told it with flashbacks and what was going on, I think was very effective, at least for me. And it deserves a lot of the awards. The production, the narrative, the animations, the sound, it was really great. It's amazing that Sony they're fighting with themselves, basically, with Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us 2. And what happened to my stream? There it goes. Got a little stuck there. But yeah, Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, it's amazing that Sony's just basically fighting with itself, competing with itself. And then, you know what? That's what they're doing, and that's the way they're rolling. So, I thought the announcements of the show were really good. And just to tail off on that, Microsoft had a lot of announcements that they were talking about, and one of the biggest ones was the initiatives. Because, unfortunately, I think Ori didn't win that much, I think. And, Microsoft's representation as a nominee. Best Simulator went to Flight Simulator. God damn it, the name's in the title.
No deal.
Holy crap. But anyway, Microsoft, again, for another year, really doesn't have the Game Awards should be a celebration of the games that came out and the awards and the recognition. And unfortunately, for the last 2 years and so, it's been a Sony show. Sony has had games representing themselves in a lot of the things, and Nintendo as well. And unfortunately, Microsoft really just has a couple of things like they did with Don't Tell Me Why, episodic thing that they did, that one, and Ori one. But obviously, the thing is they use that show to announce a lot of things, right? The best. That's right. They use the show to kind of do announcements. Last year, Phil sabotaged everything, took the world by storm, and announced the Series X and showed Hellblade 2. Wow, you wouldn't have guessed from last year the way Phil came out at the awards. We will be sitting here a year later with a delayed Halo game, no news on Hellblade 2, and the Series X with no launch games. Wow, what a turn of events. Yeah, so, they were be bold, and now they're be bitch. So,
You son of a bitch.
D Almighty, you walked in right at the right time. You got the Phil Ness slander right there. The way he came out last year at the Game Awards, is the console Series X, is Hellblade 2, we're going to be bold. Everybody did their podcast. Microsoft has turned over a new leaf. Phil changed it. Now this Game Awards, Phil Neska, he announced the console and no goddamn first-party lineup. The Halo was delayed until the fall of next year, friggin' year out. And no goddamn games, but 23 studios having brunch. Good job. But he was going to be bold. Now be bitch.
Take it back!
I won't take it back.
Shut up!
Be bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Be bitch.
Don't do that.
Be bitch. Anyway, arguing with my Arnold. Cut it out. Don't get wild on me. Don't be wildin'. So, anyway, get to the friggin' announcement. All right, let's get to the announcement. The goddamn announcement, the initiative 44 people deep. Maybe we could hit more people than the initiative today on the live stream. 44 people deep are working on Perfect Dark.
Now, whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
It's been rumored for a couple of years that they've been working on Perfect Dark. Right? I think it's the worst kept rumor basically since the Fable rumor, which Microsoft finally revealed in their spring showcase, whatever the hell, their summer showcase of that they're working on Fable. And they showed Icon after 2-3 years of a rumor. Since they shut down friggin' Lionhead, they're like, oh yeah, the Playground's working on Fable in 2017. 3 years later, we get to see a trailer, basically a logo. And the thing is like now, Perfect Dark was rumored. Shout out to all the insiders, outsiders, my two eyes, insiders. That basically the initiative is working on that. The thing is, Grinders, I'm gonna tell you something. I love Perfect Dark. I'm excited. I think it's great. I think it's good news and bad news. But hey, I think if they believe in the franchise, let's do something with it, okay? Because, they kind of abandoned it after the 360. They made that Perfect Dark Zero, which I don't know what the hell is up with those animations. I was hyped for Perfect Dark, and then, it was all right. It was decent. But then they redid the N64 version. But I really, I love Perfect Dark. I think it's a cool genre. I like the first-person espionage thing. Joanna Dark with her gadgets. My favorite gun is the laptop gun or the mag rifle that could see through walls. I remember having that in multiplayer and stuff like that. And the multiplayer they did was pretty cool. Like, it was big. It had the in Perfect Dark Zero, they had the mechs and stuff like that. Had some little bit of vehicles here or there. But it's interesting that they went back to that. This is the thing. I think it's great that they believe in the franchise, but again, we got to see more. We got to see what it visions, because guess what? I'm sorry, True Virgil, but I was excited for Battletoads when they announced it. Oh wow, they're working on new Battletoads. Until I saw it and until I played it, I'm like, ew, that's not the Battletoads that I was thinking. So on paper, this sounds awesome that they believe in these franchises and they're bringing them back. However, I need to see it. If this is Joanna Dark comic book style, episodic, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Well, it's going to be a mature like Splinter Cell type. Now, whoa, okay, now we're talking. Now that might be good. Not saying that a cartoon-looking Joanna Dark or anything like that is bad, but if they take it more the serious route, more like like a Splinter Cell-ish. That might be a cool direction for Perfect Dark and make it like that. So, supposedly it's a reimagining of the first one, and I remember when they were describing about their project, they were describing it about doing old things in new ways, which I don't know. Now that I know it's Perfect Dark, I'm thinking like, can that be? Are they take like doing something old, making it new, or taking something old ways, making it new? Are they going to take this game that was traditionally a first-person shooter and make it a third-person? I don't know. From their interview, they basically said that, I think that they're still trying to do like transversal and stuff in first-person, akin to Mirror's Edge, right? Akin to like Mirror's Edge or something along those lines. So, here, let me get some context here. Game Awards. So during their thing, they basically I'll put it up on the grinds wall. Yeah. What the hell? Let's trash out of here. So, so they started with this stuff, and the thing is like, exactly, Buck. At least they're bringing like, it's really interesting, and this is one of the things I wanted to mention before I get into the NPDs and the big cyberpunk thing. One of the things I wanted to mention, this is like completely, it happened and came and went, and I was like, I wanted to say something about Perfect Dark, but it's really interesting that they're bringing back the franchise and that they built a new studio to work on Perfect Dark, which is really strange. Like, I'm like, okay, like, you know, you get a whole bunch of like, you know, high level people from all different types of companies and stuff like that, game developers, put them all together in a room and say, we want you to work on Perfect Dark. Very interesting. Very interesting. Like, I didn't even know Microsoft really believed in their IP like that. You know, Banjo is not there. Battletoads seemed like it was a passion project from somebody that just wanted to work on Battletoads. And I was just very interesting to see that. And I knew this was Perfect Dark as soon as I saw the laptop gun right there. I was like, Perfect Dark, laptop gun. There it is. You saw the laptop gun? That's how I knew it was Perfect Dark. I was like, laptop gun. And then they showed the data dying, which is going up. Which a lot of people like, come on. I was addicted to Perfect Dark on the N64. I don't know if you ever heard on the show that I said when I bought Perfect Dark for the N64, I bought the game and a thing of Visine because I was gonna get video game eye, bloodshot eyes from staying up playing Perfect Dark. Like, I seriously bought Visine and the game in the same bag. The GameStop wasn't selling the both goddamn things, but I went to go get Visine, and I knew I was going to be in for a crazy night. Plus, I bought the expansion, the graphics expansion that you needed for Perfect Dark because you could only do 2-player Perfect Dark. You needed the 4-person split screen with the expansion pack for the 364, for the 64. I mean, but yeah, I agree, Buck. Like, CGI. Yeah, it is confirmed. Thank you, JCat. It is confirmed to be first person. And when they talked about it, they basically said that, you know, they're trying to basically you know, transversal and stuff. So I was thinking like Mirror's Edge. They're going to try to make like first person transversal parkour stuff. So we'll see where they go from it. Again, it's a CGI trailer, and, you know, just to give an example, like, we saw a CGI trailer for Hellblade 2 a year ago. And we saw nothing about it except the dude's vacation photos over the summer where he took from some terrain shots. Like, that's a whole year ago. Like, Hellblade 2 has been a year out from the CGI trailer, and we don't know anything new about it, and we're going into 2021. This is what I mean, where Microsoft has this problem where they show a trailer but don't really follow it up with gameplay, or they're just like, they're kind of like out there just dropping kind of. It's nice that they're showing this stuff, but this stuff looks far out. This I don't think this game's coming next year, and maybe we see gameplay next year, or maybe they have a beta maybe in 2022. Like, you know, the challenge that Microsoft has right now is that they've been kind of, as we said, like, been kind of lackluster for the last few years. Like, people went into that E3 before he announced the studios in 2018, and it was like, yo, what's going on with Xbox, man? This don't look good. And then he bought a bunch of studios, and everybody was like, oh yeah, okay, here we go. You know, they're back in it. They're back in it and stuff like that. And that was 2018. Since then, from those new studios, we've got Grounded, and we got Bleeding Out. 2 passion projects. And I'm not counting Outer Worlds, because Outer Worlds wasn't published by Microsoft. Microsoft published Grounded, which is in preview. Still don't have a campaign because they're still figuring it out. And Bleeding Out, which I went back into it just to see what the hell's going on. They only have that one new character that has the shock that they announced before the game launched. There was the one new character. I don't know what has happened. The content has dried up for that one. So that's what they're doing. And you know, we got Everwild, which they had people leave, and they're not sure like what the gameplay is gonna be, or what the game is gonna be. It looks okay. And now we got Perfect Dark trailer. Hellblade, we got a trailer. Hellblade 2. Like, I think these games, like, you know, on paper, the potential's there. Perfect Dark, Hellblade 2, Fable, Avowed looked all right. Another trailer. But the issue is exactly what Buck Rogers said. Buck Rogers, you read my mind. That's why you're number one grinder. You come in here all the time. What's up, Immortal? How you doing? But Buck Rogers knows exactly where I'm going with this. Halo looked good on paper too. Halo Infinite. Ooh, excuse me. Halo Infinite looked good on paper too, right? And then we saw gameplay. They hyped up the gameplay. And then we saw it. And look what happened. Got negative feedback. Got sent back to the toaster for another year. And who knows if fall 2021 is really Halo's launch. We don't know. What's up, Just a Guy? How you doing? We don't know. We don't know exactly. So Microsoft is in a wait and see. And think about it. They just launched 2 new consoles right now. 2 new consoles came out. And there's nothing to show for it. We got a bunch of screens and stuff. It sounds great. And you know what? I'll be there for Perfect Dark. I'll be 3 years older, 4 years older. Who knows? Then this is the problem. They finally got their shit together and they're willing to show the stuff. Now, recall Phil Ness back in the day when he said, I don't show games unless they're ready to launch. That was the excuse 2 years ago, 2019, when they didn't show anything. They're saving it for next gen. Phil doesn't like to show games 3 and 4 years out. He likes to show games when they're about to launch. Remember that? Remember that whole rigmarole? Remember when Phil, that was that party trick that all the Xbox people were running with? Oh, Phil don't show games 3 and 5 years, 4 years out. Phil likes to show games when they're about to release. Just look, he doesn't want what happened to Scalebound. He doesn't want what happened to those games or to Phantom Dust. Phil don't want to do that. Phil don't want to show games 3 and 4 years out. He wants to show them like the year they're coming out or the next year. That's why we don't know what games are coming out. That's why there was no announcements at this XO. That's why there was no announcements at this E3. All those big announcements. But, exactly, Sam. Fable, Perfect Dark, early development. Everwild, early development in Fable, early development in Forza. Jesus. I know, Dominic. I know, Dom. I'm here for you. Hit that like button. Share the video out, everybody. Subscribe if you're new. But now we turn over a new leaf. Phil now is showing games 3 and 4 years out, maybe. Who knows? Who knows what they've been showing? And now the story has changed. Remember, Phil was more excited about what he didn't show you. Well, here's all the stuff. That was 2 years ago. He's happy about what I didn't show you.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
True. Arnold, no, I'm serious. 2 years ago, Phil was happy about what he didn't show you. Well, now he's showing you what he didn't show you. And now you're waiting. Thank you, Salty. But, so that's the problem that they're running into. They've been waiting and excuses for the last 3 to 4 years while they got their shit together. Now, they're starting to unveil, hey, here are the things that we're working on. That's years out. None of this shit's coming next year. Hell, we got to cross our fingers even if Halo, which we saw gameplay to, is going to come out next year. Fall 2021 is pretty goddamn close to 2022. Craig's pubes and his chest hair don't come in style in the end of the year. He better look like a fucking BG by 2022 with the hair and the chest hairs. We're waiting for Craig to hit maturity here because Craig was smooth as a baby's bottom when we saw him. Now we're waiting for Craig to grow some hair and his balls to drop. That's where they went back to the drawing board. So now we got to wait for Craig to hit puberty. So he better come out looking like fucking Bee Gees. Seriously. I want to see brutes with chest hair and gold chains, Phil Ness brutes. All right? So apparently they spent an extra year to draw some pubes and give him a beard and chest hair. The brutes need to grow hair. We don't like them cleanly shaven. So whoever approved that shit, wake up. And the fact that they show this shit. So, to spin this all together, I'm so glad we're able to see the future of Perfect Dark. But again, the point that I'm trying to make is that now that they got their shit together and showing this stuff, on paper it looks great. Bravo, Phil. Here we go. I'm going to give you now,
means when I think about Xbox, I'm going to think about quality games. We have work to do there. We haven't done our best work over the last few years.
Last few years, that's right, Phil. That was 2 years ago. That was a year ago. So the last few years, he hasn't done the best work in quality. So maybe this is quality. Now, if this game is episodic, let's chop it up in a bunch of little shows. Who knows? Phil Nesbroots. That's right, Buck. We got Phil Nesbroots, chest hair, gold chains, walking out like the goddamn Bee Gees or Zangief. I want to see the hairiest brutes in the world. I got a year now to put hair on the brutes. Goddamn Bee Gees. So the thing is that a lot could change in a couple of years. Gaming perceptions have changed, and I'm going to tell you this right now. We're going to get into the Cyberpunk stuff, but the shit that happened to Cyberpunk today, that's going to change a lot of developers' perceptions, approaches, and reviewers' approaches. Today, that Cyberpunk shit that happened today is going to change. I was talking about this before what happened today, but 2 years, and even a year in gaming life cycles is a long time. Hell, you want to talk about 3 years ago, 2017, if Perfect Dark comes out in 3 years, guess what the hottest shooter was? Battle Royale. Pub goddamn G. Guess what didn't exist? Fortnite. Fortnite didn't exist. Fortnite came out, their Battle Royale in 2017. And look what Fortnite is now. Look what Battle Royale has done. The only kid on the block was PUBG in 2017. 3 years. Look how much has changed. Call of Duty got a Battle Royale. You got free-to-plays with Apex Legends. Like, things like Rogue Company come out. That's not even Battle Royale, but just like this type of, there are things that change the industry. Things that shift the market. And if your games are too far out, your games are going to look and feel old by the time they come out because new shit is happening all the time. That's why it's a challenge right now to say, what will Perfect Dark be? What will first-person shooters be? Maybe somebody will do a first-person shooter that has amazing transversal, and it's the thing to beat. And then Perfect Dark says, here's our transversal, and it's like, oh, shit, nah, man. Yeah, they did first-person transversal so awesome. That is the measuring stick right now. Now Perfect Dark comes out, and now it doesn't have the transversal that game had. This is the challenge that they have. That's what I mean. It's good and bad news that these games are being, we see title screens now, but we don't know what these games are going to be. And especially that Microsoft is focusing on like first-person genre where there's a lot of competition in first-person genre. Hell, they got their own competition with having a first-person in Halo. Halo's going to have to go against Call of Duty next fall. It always does. And a Battlefield maybe next year. And now you're going to have Halo thrown in there. 3 big first-person shooters. Maybe Halo free-to-play pulls it out. But a lot can change in gaming. And perceptions can change on a dime. And if you're not doing anything super unique, like, like this amazing storytelling that Sony could pull off and stuff like that, and you're still trying to have these studios find their way, it's going to be a challenge. Exactly, Social. The game sounded like a Mirror's Edge with guns. It did sound like that. It did. The way they were talking about it, it did sound like that. So, we'll see. I like Perfect Dark. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm glad. I'm interested. But the challenge is, there's 2 challenges here before we get to the next topic. One, it's great. We got Fable, Perfect Dark, Avowed. Like, on paper, Halo, like, it's almost like back in the 360 age. Like, these games, Perfect Dark, Fable, Forza, Halo, like, they brought it back. Like, they brought back some of the IP, which is great. I'm glad they did. They just get a show of respect and do it the right way. However, with IP comes responsibilities here. And the challenge is that the fact that the initiative now, who they weren't on the initial Rare team that made Perfect Dark. Like, they weren't around, they didn't do that stuff. They didn't work on Perfect Dark. So they're going to do their spin on it. And by giving it the name Perfect Dark, it's going to have some expectations of what Perfect Dark should be, right? And that's a challenge and a burden put on these guys where they could have just made their own game. Maybe take, I think it would have been cool if they would have took like something and would have been like maybe taken some elements from Perfect Dark and made it their own game. And not call Perfect Dark, or call it the Perfect Dark Chronicles or something like that, and make it their own, like Joanna. Call it Joanna Dark. And then, like, say, the Perfect Dark Chronicles, or something along those lines, where it's kind of its own thing, but they're utilizing the IP as well. That would have been interesting. But just to call it Perfect Dark, a lot of people just going to go right back to the 360 version, or go right back to the N64 version and go, what's Perfect Dark? You know? And it gives it that kind of expectation. And Perfect Dark really didn't hit with the 360. Like, it wasn't something that was going to be their next Halo. It didn't. You know? And exactly, Glenza. You know, and the other thing with great IP is another thing. Same thing with Fable. You got Playground Games who are not from Lionhead. They're not even part of Lionhead. And just look at what happened to Fable with Fable 2. After that left, Pia Molyneux left, look what happened to Fable 3. Like, it really became more of an action RPG. Like, Fable 2, he was talking about the dog, and the dog's going to go this, and the dog, like, he was still talking about emotion, and Molyneux could sell you a friggin' block of ice and Eskimo. But when Molyneux left Lionhead, they really couldn't grasp the essence of Fable anymore. Like, they had the vision, because the Lionhead still was working on it, but they didn't have the heart, because Pia Molyneux wasn't there anymore. He created that Fable, and when he left, Fable 3, and then they came Fable VR, and then Fable Connect, and then they did Fable Legends, and they canceled it. And Fable Legends looked like Fable, but it wasn't what Fable was supposed to be. Fable was supposed to be this like an amazing kind of you build yourself in this world type thing. And yeah, like so like now without Molyneux or the Lionhead team, we're talking about Fable from a studio that makes car racing games. By giving it the Fable name, you're given the responsibilities of they're going to have to try to capture what Fable was without making it their, and also trying to make it their own. And it's a challenge, especially from people. Look at the struggle that 343 is doing. And some of the people worked on Halo with Bungie. Yeah, and that's right. I'm not saying they're going to make a bad game. I'm just saying that it's a tough burden, especially not just from the developer aspect of it, but from the end user aspect of it. You know, the fact that the end users are doing this. Like, this is not a remake. Like, oh, let's do a Demon Souls remake. It's a remake. You know, that's a remake. But when you're having a brand new studio and you're building a game up and it's their interpretation of this IP, you know, look at the struggles that 343 is doing. Oh, people didn't like the direction of Halo 5, so we got to go back to what it looked like in Halo Classic Edition. But now you just took these two brand new studios with Playground Games and the Initiative, and you put that burden and you put that responsibility on them of these IPs. So it's great that these IPs are coming back, but it's also a challenge for them to measure up to what those IPs were in people's heads. So good luck to them. Good luck. Maybe in a couple years we'll see. But, you know, again, with great IP comes great responsibility. And again, this IP wasn't at its highest point when they stopped doing it. Like, Perfect Dark Zero was not at its the best of Perfect Dark. And Fable Legends wasn't at the highest point of Fable Legends. Like, so maybe they won't have high expectations. Maybe they won't have the high expectations. So maybe they'll win there. But it's really interesting that they would take a bunch of people and say, you do Perfect Dark. I just think it's pretty interesting that they just pull that IP out to do that, especially since they have Halo first-person shooter. Why would you have the initiative make another first-person shooter? You know? I don't know. Like, you know, first-person espionage sci-fi. Well, you got Halo. Yeah, it's not espionage, but first-person sci-fi. I don't know. Hey, whatever they want to do, we'll see. I like Perfect Dark, so I'm glad that they respect the IP. But again, it seems a little redundant when you got a brand new studio, and you know they could have made a third person. Like I said, like the Joanna Dark Files, and it's like a third person Tomb Raider type. Joanna Dark from the Perfect Dark Chronicle, so they take the IP. And I think, like people said that they should do the same thing with Gears. Like, make a horror, and I think Smooth even said this, Kid Smooth, shout out to him. He said, like, with Gears, like, don't just do Gears 6, like, do Gears, a horror game, maybe a first-person Gears, like, in Sarah, like, in that world. So you're keeping the same world, but you're looking at it from a different perspective. I know they tried that with Gears Tactics, and that's still something different, but it would be cool. And I'm like thinking along the lines of like how, even though they're not great movies, but like what was it? Not Splinter, but what the hell was it? How they did like Glass, and they did like the Unbreakable, and they did that the twist at the end was that it was part of the same world but just different perspective of it. Like, I think you could flesh out the world and make it a different game, but still make it your own, but kind of use stuff in these big worlds. But that's just me. I know, Sam, if they make it episodic though, and that's the devil of Game Pass. Like, just like Halo free to play, I don't know if that was ever going to happen if it wasn't for the subscription shit. But yeah, if they make it episodic, the problem with episodic games is not that they're split. That's what it is, split. Or yeah, when the guy has all the different personalities. But yeah, the thing is with Perfect Dark being episodic, like, the problem with episodic games is that they need to hold the attention of the gamer for an amount of time. And the problem that they have with episodic games is that the lapse in time from the first episode to the second episode to the third episode was too long. Or they were just kind of artificially stopped and like made you tune in the next week for the next one. Like, I think a weekly episodic would be good, but I don't think a weekly would do them any benefits. I think they need a monthly one. And yeah, the episodic, like Hitman, like you see, Hitman, they're now doing episodic now for 3, because episodic for 2 Hitman wasn't really, it really didn't hit. Like, it didn't feel like a cohesive game. It felt like just like a bunch of mini Hitmans, and then the pricing structure was all messed. It was like, oh, well, spend $70 and each one's $20, and you get into the pricing structure. Like, who's just gonna buy episode 3? So real, what is the purpose of it being episodic? I could see if choices, if I made episodic, I would say, okay, well, here's episode 1. You decide something happens at the end of episode 1. You go do a certain one, then guess what? Your episode 2 is going to be a different thing than somebody else's episode 2. And not like the same thing, just somebody says something different, but no, like a completely different. Like, I'm talking like you take a game like now I'm off on a tangent, but like if you take a game like what is the one with the robots? What the hell's the robot one? Shit. Or even like Until Dawn or something like that, or those games with the decisions made. Like, if you stop it at a certain point and you make the next one like change completely different, now like the episode could like, ooh, like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't wait to see what my next episode is gonna be, because it's personalized, because I did some crazy ass shit, and now my episode 3. Tune in, so the suspense, you're interested because you made decisions that will impact the next episode. But if you just go like, oh, well, mission 1-1 and mission 1-3, and they're just the same things, just sliced up and spoon-fed to you over time, that sucks. That's going to be tough to keep people attentive. And if that's what they do a Perfect Dark, that's going to be a challenge. But if they do things where, you're impacting your episodes, I think that might work. Like, Telltale, the problem they ran into is that they couldn't pump it out fast enough, and they took too many licenses. And yeah, Detroit Become Human. Jesus, I drew a friggin' blank. But yeah, like something like that, where like, it stops at a certain point and the decisions you made greatly impact. I know that takes a lot of story design, a lot of work, but that's cool. But that's just me on the whole thing. And somebody asked me a question back then. Hold on. That was the episodic question. What was the other question? Yep, yeah. Buddy Cactus said the same thing happened at Lionhead. No Pia Molyneux happened to Halo after Halo Reach and Bungie going. Took the soul out of the franchise, and they've been trying to recapture that. That's right, buddy. And trying to make it their own at the same time. But now they try to make it their own, and people didn't like it. So now by giving those IP, Perfect Dark and Fable, you put that challenge on them. Not saying it's going to be bad. Ryan, he said, do you think Gears 6 is in development? Yeah, I think so. But that's another situation, just going off like what Buddy says. Like, Rod Ferguson was brought in for Gears. Like, he came in and they changed the name of the studio from, like, Black Tusk to friggin' Coalition. And now they pigeonhole themselves to say, you're the Coalition. Guess what? You make Gears. Like, they really should make something else. But they're named the Coalition, and they're the Gears studio. So now they're forced to make Gears without the guy who was the heartbeat of Gears. That's going to be tough, and they're going to have to make it their own. And by making it Gears 6, there's going to be expectations. Maybe they turn it around. Plus, they got to finish the story that they did with Kate. They abandoned some story halfway through here. So that's another challenge for the Gears studio. Like, that's going to be interesting to see what they do with the Coalition. Now that Rod Ferguson's left, like, how are they going to continue that story? Yeah, quadruple A is not a real thing. No, it means that they can give you an A month for episodic. So the game will be 4 months long, and you get an A month.
One of the things I really love about
That's what they're gonna do. But anyway. Shout out. Hey, we had Coalition numbers. Double banger status. 44 people watching. Hit that like button, everybody. Share it out. That's right. We hit Coalition. Number of people at Coalition making Perfect Dark. What a coincidence. So, get into the topic right now. We're going to go right into the November NPDs, right? So, we did enough of that was the Game Awards. Congratulations to The Last of Us 2. Awesome Perfect Dark. Sounds great. I'm interested. I'm impressed that they're going back to that IP. And, yeah, so good luck to them, and I think it's going to be awesome. Now, we'll see. We got to see more gameplay of these games. I got to see what these games are, especially to me, as you know, coming here as a grinder, my concerns with what Game Pass has done to games, I'm hoping that we don't see that when they start showing these games. We don't see Craig's and going like, oh, shit, you know what I mean? Like, I'm hoping that we don't see this. Like, I'm hoping that we don't see a game and go, oh, yeah, that's Game Pass. And then everybody goes, well, it's in Game Pass. I don't have to buy it anyway. No, shit. I don't want to see that. That's why I got to see. My two sources, my left eye and my right eye. There you go. Buddy Cactus says, I saw one of the big YouTube channels only yesterday talk about Xbox bad studio management. And it's like Jez has been saying it for months. Yes. I've been like, it's evident, I mean, it's this bad studio management, people, like, I don't know why it takes so long for this shit to click. Like, it is. Microsoft has trouble managing studios, and now they got 23 of them. Booty got a lot of clapping to do. And that's the biggest thing. Microsoft has an issue with making games. It's not that they don't have the money to make games, but I just think they're out of touch with what gamers want, and they're more interested about the bottom line. And actually, for the last years, which I've been losing my goddamn voiceover, is that they're more interested in the where and the how you're going to play games rather than what you're going to play. When it comes down to the what, it's always Phil Spencer going, but on a billion phones. You'll see an Xbox app on your TV in a year. But Phil, when is Halo? What month is Halo going to come out in? Is Craig going to have chest hair? Are we going to have better weapons? What's Fable look like? I'm really happy about showing Fable. Like, come on. Like, that's the thing. Like, whenever it comes to the games and the software, Phil's going humana. But he'll tell you about the Xbox app on your phone and the fact that you're playable on iOS and the fact that you get these games on PC. Like, he's more than happy to share the next 2 years of where the fucking Xbox app is going to go. But heaven forbid we get dates and gameplay of some of the games that you're announcing. Oh, they're not ready. Oh, no. And delays, a year delay. A year delay? You got Master Chief on goddamn energy drinks. You got Master Chief in Fortnite. Dude, this was supposed to happen now. We were supposed to be 2 weeks, a month into playing Halo Infinite, and it's not coming out for another year. Shit, man. That's not no Craig chest hair. And pubes. That's some serious broken-ass shit. In addition to a free-to-play multiplayer, they're already using promos for skins in a game it's free-to-play. Oh, you want to talk about coming in hot?
Who is your daddy?
Halo Infinite multiplayer? Oh, that's going to come in hot because that's going to be free to play. So it's going to be like, bitch, you can't complain because it is free.
Take it back!
Yeah, right? Who knows? Who knows, buddy? You know, maybe they cancel Avowed. Maybe he scraps Hellblade 2. And I don't know. And that's the problem, Dominic. That's exactly the issue. They talk about the where and the how and the dollar bill fill price and all this other stuff, and we don't know what we're going to play. We got some ideas. We got some logos, but is any of you guys grinders, over 40 people watching, are you guys going to pay $15 a month to wait for when Halo comes out? What's up, Glorious? How you doing? You know? Absolute said Cyberpunk is a mess. We'll get into that. So, Xbox has a big question mark over it. Hey, on paper, I think we got some good promise here. I'm interested in the IPs that they're working on. But, guys, until Phil starts showing gameplay and starts doing what Sony does very effectively and making us want to play Ghost of Tsushima, making us want to play Ratchet and Clank, making us want to play Spider-Man, making us want to play and be interested in Days Gone. Whoa, that looks like a great story. Wow, that game looks incredible. Wow, look at the combat in that. Social makes a brilliant point. Look at Returnal. Look at Returnal from Housemarque. Yo, they showed some gameplay. They talking about the concepts. I was pretty shocked that game was $70. I'm like, whoa, Housemarque doesn't make those size games. They make they made the smaller games. This was a big game, but it's amazing that they're making a big game like this. And the combat and the whole the world changes and it evolves. It's pretty interesting. And then you keep respawning, so it's like this roguelike game. And it's going to have incredible shooting elements because that's what they do great, is they do amazing kind of arcade-type shooting games. And, that's the thing. They do great arcade shooting games, and it's going to have some slick combat. In addition to that story, and it looks like she does flashbacks to figure out what's going on. Dude, that seems pretty interesting. And that's effective marketing. Dominic says, $15 a month grinds my gears. Need some new games to oil me up. Damn right. Damn right.
I'd buy that for $1.
$15 a month to wait. Wow, that's $180 to wait right now for a year. They got a challenge to keep people interested for while these games that they're showing. And remember too, they got a lot of subscribers out there. They don't want people to start dropping off going, yo, what's Microsoft working on? So Microsoft now is at the liberty now to share more into the future, like Phil said he doesn't do. But he's doing that now because he has to keep those people engaged and subscribed. Yo, we got games coming. We're just not going to tell you when, but we got games coming. Keep that carrot. Get that carrot. And you know what? We'll see how effective that's going to be. Because I'm telling you, next year, a lot of those stack-up deals that people have been doing with their Xbox Live turning into Ultimate, it ends. Because that started in 2019. So they had about 2 years stack on it. Or wrap it up to 2022. So 2021, 2022, right when Halo comes out is when a lot of those people are going to have to start paying $15 a month. $15 a month. Everybody's championing it now because a lot of them stacked it up for $1. They bought 3 years of Xbox Live and bought it upgraded for $1 and got it for $120 for 3 years. yeah, I'll be championing the service too. But wait till that shit dries up in the next year because you're only allowed to do that for 3 years. Now, $15 a month, you're paying Celeste. You're playing Boogaboo Creek or whatever the hell the fuck they're showing. These little indie games. Oh, but Halo's coming in 3 months. Yeah, well, I'll just back off now. And I'll pay him 15 months. You know? So, we'll see. But speaking about games and not having games, guys, I teased it before. We're 50 minutes in, guys. I already said it. We know what was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen.
Yes, I'm trying to find the Turbo Man doll.
Me too, me too.
This is it right now. PlayStation 5, finding that Turbo Man.
What? You see that? What did I say?
These guys are looking for a Turbo Man?
A Turbo Man doll, yes.
They're looking for Turbo Man.
Yeah, so...
Everybody, these two are looking for a Turbo Man.
Get him, man.
Now, what's so funny?
Where have you guys been? Turbo Man's only the hottest selling Christmas toy ever. You know what? We got plenty of Turbo Man's faithful saber-tooth tiger booster. We got plenty of Turbo Man's faithful saber-tooth tiger booster.
You know what? Nobody likes you, Booster.
Yeah, so... NPDs have hit. And... the launch month, the big launch month that everybody's been waiting for, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and the Series S, both released. And we got it. There you go. The Switch and PlayStation 5 split sales victory. So, the interesting thing with reading about the NPDs is that they kind of throw in Booster here. The Series X out, so like it did sell out, but it's not the thing that everybody's driving. Like, it is like the PlayStation 5 was November's best-selling hardware platform in spending. Now it is more money, while the Nintendo led in market of units sold. So the amount, because it's 400 and 500, the PlayStation 5 won, and the Switch won in the number of consoles sold because of availability. Booster, I guess, came in last. You know, you gotta remember, PlayStation had the PlayStation 5 at 500 and Digital Edition at 400. The Switch had it at 300 and the Switch Lite at 200. The Series X was in demand with the S, but you know, you gotta remember, there was a $300 next-gen console out there in the S. And, you know, the biggest thing is that PlayStation achieved the highest launch month in unit and dollar sales for a video game hardware platform in the U.S. Their records were previously held by the PlayStation 4. They beat their own record. So, the thing is, and then this thing, the DualSense, hear this. Spending accessories reached 314 million November 2022. 8% higher than a year ago. Sony's DualSense Wire, the wireless controller, achieved the highest launch month unit and dollar sales for a gamepad in U.S. history. Oh, yes, Sam Ash. Yes, that Stu thing was so funny. Yo, the Sony controller, highest launch month in unit and dollar sales. Yeah, it was $70 for a gamepad in U.S. history. Crazy. Like, I'm not going to belabor this. Xbox they did all right. They sold out, and Phil said that they sold out because it's the initial people. When these things are in stock, the PlayStation 5, you could see with the SNL skit. You could see with the demand. You see that the PlayStation is the more desirable platform than the Xbox. It always has been. And now the PlayStation 5 is just taking that. And the thing is like, I could tell you from some using the Series X, like, there is nothing to demonstrate that system. That you stream from it, and people, like, I hook up to the computer, people are like, oh, is that the X? I'm like, the new one. They're like, oh, no. You can only tell by the moving dashboard, which they give you 5 lava lamps. Like, the thing is that it's struggling. Like, it's struggling to be something new. And people want to spend $500 on something new, not something that could do the same shit that their other system is doing. Play the same games. And Sony made that thing new. Like, yes, they have some cross-gen games with Spider-Man, but they got games like Demon's Souls, and I just started Godfall. Holy crap. That game looks friggin' insane. And I know these games look insane because I want to stop and take photographs. All right, I'm like, wow. And when I play the games on the Xbox, I was playing like Halo Master Chief Collection, Halo 5, and I'm like, oh yeah, they look sharper. They look like sharper old games. But when I was playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, the lighting, the smoke effects, the reflections, the density of the characters, all of that was showing why this game looks next generation compared to a Halo 5 or even a Gears, which, yes, it looks good, but it looks like a sharper version of an old game. There are other elements in lighting, in reflections, in density, in physics that were going on. More stuff being broken, physics, and more shit going on the screen in Spider-Man. Even in Demon's Souls, the physics of things just breaking and the textures. It is something new and different. Whereas the games, yes, they look better. And Microsoft's MO has been, oh, your old games play better. Yeah. But they're still old games. So they look like the older textures and everything just up-resed and better frame rates. So that only, it's like, oh, it's shiny. It's a shiny new thing. Meanwhile, it's like, dude, this is a whole new thing. This changes this shit around. Like swinging through the streets in Spider-Man with the snow falling and the lighting from the street lights and the reflections off the cars and the lights bloom off of the headlights. Like, you're just like, geez, this looks like a real friggin' city. And that's right, buddy. That's right. And you're right, Buck. That is just an early PS5 game. Godfall. The combat is slick as hell. The game is polished as hell. I'm only about 2-3 hours into it, so I don't know. I know there's problems with the repetitiveness and stuff like that, but I gotta tell you, when this shit looks like that, you want to explore. Like, the game looks amazing. The colors are like bleeding off the screen. I'm like, Jesus, this freaking looks crazy. And it's like a combination of like a Demon's Souls and a God of War, because it's like this, like you got it almost, the combat's like God of War, but it has that kind of, the Demon's Souls of the weak and the strong, and of the swinging, and then as the shield, and you can throw the shield, and it has the loot characters and stuff like that. But like, yeah, what nerve, right? That's right, Buck Roger. What nerve? I like new games on new consoles. And on top of that, that's just the way the game looks. Now you talk about the UI and the activities of how you could jump directly into a game. All this stuff, performance ray tracing, they just added into both Spider-Man games, Miles and the remastered game. And this is just like you said before, this is just the first set of games. There's still Ratchet coming. You know what? And Returnal. Like, Sony's flexing Returnal when it got Horizon and God of War in its friggin' ace-in-the-pocket hole. They're allowed to flex Returnal, and that game looks friggin' awesome. You know what I mean? Like, they're flexing Returnal, and you got Horizon, Ratchet, and Clank, and God of War in your back pocket. Oh, yeah, and maybe Spider-Man down the road. Oh, and maybe what Naughty Dog's new game is going to be. Oh, maybe you have factions in Last of Us 2 multiplayer. Maybe. Dude, they got so many aces in the hole. They're walking like J-Lo with their big ass. They got so many aces in their back pocket, and they're able to flex Returnal. And even Temtem. I freaking got Temtem, which is a PlayStation 5 exclusive game in preview. Yo, yeah. It freaking looks cool. 4K 60 running around. Dude, it's freaking Pokemon Online. Trading, battling. Freaking awesome. $30. Hell, the free game they just gave, Worms Battleground bullshit. That's free. If it's free, it's for me. Another exclusive game. Fucking Bug Snacks.
Don't forget, You're my #1 customer.
The variety, the flex of these other games. Social Joint says Gran Turismo 7, Horizon. And then Naughty Dog, oh yeah, whatever they're working on. Oh, whatever Guerrilla's working on too, they might have a second game. The thing is that they are bringing that stuff. Then the multiplats are running better on the PlayStation. PlayStation not only holding its own, but it's running them better. And I think a lot of it has to do with the legacy development of the Xbox. I think that the S's, the Series S, and I think that the other Xbox, the One X, I think is throwing developers for a loop. And I don't think that they're able to take away the full capacity because they're basically just giving you a scalable version of an Xbox game across all their platforms. What's up, Alex? How you doing? They're giving you that kind of version across all platforms. With Sony, they're like, yo, I want a PlayStation 5 game. Now, that's just the visuals. But now we're talking, it's the activities. You could jump right into a game. Oh, you got 30% left, jump right into it. The game boots up right into the loading point, right at the friggin' screen. It tells you what to finish in the game. It's friggin' awesome. That's activities. That's a next-gen feature. The sharing, the streaming, native streaming to YouTube, right built in. Chat pops up on the side. Microsoft, you got to go through the Twitch app. Share Factory with new overlays. 4K uploading right to YouTube. I can make all my goddamn YouTube highlight reels right from my console. Microsoft don't have that. That's all marketing and advertisement for their games. All those easy screen scares. Xbox has to upload it to the phone. It's old news. They had a share button, but didn't give you really great sharing software. They just said, fuck, there you go. And then Phil comes out.
And don't forget, you're my #1 customer.
And you know what? You added a share button. Don't you think you should have better sharing software? God damn it, you make a PC and Microsoft Movie Maker. Goddamn Movie Maker on an Xbox. God damn it. Don't do that shit. But anyway, tangent. God damn it, tangent. The Series X and S debuted lower than the Xbox One. That's right, Absolute. Give me those friggin' budget games. Holy shit, that's the sprinkles on top of on the icing on top of the goddamn cake. Damn, it's crazy. It's so the dichotomy between the two of them is clear as friggin' daylight, man. It is scary how clear, like, you cannot deny friggin' PlayStation. You cannot deny the games, that the variety of games and quality that they're delivering on their end. You can't. And Xbox is just trying to figure out how to make it happen. And maybe we will in years from now. Who knows, guys? Maybe I'll be at 1,000 subscribers then, I could tell you. Hopefully we get it soon, not when Microsoft releases these games. But they debuted lower than the Xbox One booster. The Xbox One launched in fewer countries, but the Series X and S debuted lower than the Xbox One. And it released in more countries, but we're just talking about NPD US. So NPD US, the Xbox One, just put this perspective. The Xbox One with Kinect, you know, the camera that nobody wanted.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
At $500, the Xbox One in 2013 for $500 with a Kinect that spies on you and sees you in your friggin' underwears, sold more than two consoles priced at $500 and $300. You think two is better than one? Considering all the negative publicity the Xbox One had at launch. The next Xbox One had a camera that nobody wanted. It was $500, $100 extra for that camera. And that managed to sell more than the Series X and S, which was priced at $500 and $300. He's not saying the Series X was lower than the Xbox One. He's saying both of those two new consoles combined was lower than the Xbox One. A console that had bad publicity, draconians spying on you, DRM, doomsday. Remember how many videos have I done saying this is worse than 2013? I told you this. I said what they're doing now, they're making themselves irrelevant. In 2013, people actually gave a shit about Xbox. And they had games. They had Rise. They had Dead Rising. They had Killer Instinct. They had Titanfall in their back pocket. They had no games. They just had more hardware. Play your old games better. Well, Phil said he didn't give a shit about Xbox console sales. Well, it's showing it in the results. Now, people say it's stock. Well, if I recall, when I saw PlayStation in stock at GameStop, it was like we got 2 PlayStations but 5 Xboxes. They always seem to have more Xboxes than PlayStations when you looked at the counts at GameStop. So it seemed like a lot of these stores were going to have more Xbox stock than PlayStation stock. So it's pretty insane that the Xbox, which was, you know, when you look at those things, they had, we got 3 Xboxes and 1. And I remember when I went to GameStop, they said to me, like, PlayStation you're not going to get for next year, but we'll have more Xboxes next week. So I was like, oh, man, so Xbox is just going to keep replenishing it each week. And PlayStation's probably going to, maybe they just lose NPDs because they can't keep the stock together. So it's pretty insane that PlayStation had the biggest launch, bigger than the PlayStation 4, and Xbox had less numbers than the Xbox One. Considering Phil Spencer came out a year ago and was bold and showed the console first, had the magnets, and had everybody come out for cereal in the springtime to show me putting it together. Like, Xbox seemed like they were prepared. They had this thing like in their back pocket ready to go. So you're telling me it's stock issues? Well, then wouldn't that affect the PlayStation as well? But remember, PlayStation was scared. PlayStation was afraid. Xbox was bold. They had the games. They knew they had the power. They had the finesse too. So how the hell did the scared company, the coward, the bitch, the one who was afraid of the 12 teraflops, the one that was afraid of COVID and didn't go to PAX because they had no games, Microsoft beat them with the 12 teraflops of finesse. Sony was scared. They weren't ready for Xbox. Xbox caught them off guard by announcing the X. They did it. Sony was afraid. Sony didn't want to show anything. They were scrambling. They were retinkering the hardware because they couldn't meet the expectation of Xbox because Xbox got them. Sony, that's why they didn't announce the PlayStation 5, because they were afraid, because they had to retinker. Microsoft hit 12 teraflops and Sony couldn't do it. Remember? This shit was real. Go back and listen to my shows in the spring. Go back and listen to any Xbox channel in the spring. Man, when those 12 teraflops came out, Sony was shook. I was going to PAX and Sony was scared. Corona was overseas and everybody's like, why is Sony afraid? Because they were afraid of what Xbox and Phil did to them. Microsoft was so confident. But now, boo-hoo, they had stock issues and they didn't sell more than their 2013 DRM failure of a console. When goddamn Donnie D came out and said, if you don't like it, go and stay on the 360. Wow, 2013 was horrible. 2013 was why Xbox lost this whole entire generation. 2013 was why Phil was employed. So what does it say that the new console, what Phil turned around in 2020, debuted lower than the fail of the Xbox One? Nobody wants to talk about it?
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody want to talk about it then. Okay. Well, who's crying now? can't we just play and roast marshmallows, please? Yeah, well, roast marshmallows, dude. You can use the top of the Xbox to roast some marshmallows. That's why Phil designed it that way. But anyway, I said, this is 20. Yeah, E3, they were afraid, Buck Roger. Remember, Sony wasn't going to E3. They were afraid. Sony was... Phil scared the shit out of them. He scared the teraflops out of them. But now, the Series X and S, they debuted lower than the Xbox One because of stock. They weren't ready. Oh, okay. But the PlayStation 5, those guys, they sold more than their PlayStation 4, but they were afraid and not prepared. Yeah. Okay. Nah. I told you this was worse than 2013. The difference was that nobody gives a shit about Xbox. And Xbox could be played on a goddamn a free-to-play Android phone, goddamn it. And Phil will be happy with that. He don't give a shit. And you can play all their games on PC. And Game Pass is watering down games, cheap-ass gaming. Phil buys that for $1. And telling you about games that you can't play until 3 or 4 years from now. Nobody gives a shit. And what is 2 years and a year of this going to even matter? What is Xbox going to be in 2 years? By the time these games come out, like what? What is Xbox going to be? Are we going to have a Series X2 and an S2 that you're going to launch with Perfect Dark? But we knew this. Booster is here to stay. Here's Booster. Here's Turbo Man. You have games, next generation. You give people value. Value. You talk about Game Pass as value. So much value. Maybe because you got it for $1. Maybe because it's games. I always hear people with Game Pass going like, well, I discovered these games that I never would have bought before. Stop you right there. I would never play this game if it wasn't for... Whoa, wait a second. Go back. What did you just say? And grind this. Make sure when you talk to people and you see people say this stuff. I love Game Pass. I would never bought the game if it wasn't for... Wait a second. What? Go back. Go back. What did you just say? Because I see this a lot. You wouldn't have bought the game. Oh. I didn't even know this game came out if it wasn't for Game Pass. Wait, what? I love how Game Pass starts off as, I was never going to play this. I never had interest in this game. Oh, that was something that I might want to play if it went on sale. Oh, I would never bought this game anyway. And then it's like, but it's in Game Pass. How successful is a service that has shit that nobody wants to buy or nobody wants to give their money to? Nobody wants to pay for the content. How successful is a service that gives you secondhand goods? Goods that nobody really gives a shit about, like the Lost Boys. Here's a whole bunch of games that nobody was going to buy. We're going to put them in this service. How successful is a system like that? What's the longevity of a system that has content that starts with, I wasn't going to buy that, hooray for Game Pass? You want to know why? You know what? I'm not hungry, but you know what? If you're going to give me those ribs for free, I might as well eat them. So how good is the guy who says, hey, I'm just feeding people because I'm going to give them shit for free? That they're probably, I'm gonna build a restaurant next to this other restaurant. And what I'm going to specialize in is I'm going to make all this shitty ass food. And I'm going to take those people who are full and I'm going to feed them and see if they want to eat because I'm just making food and they're going to eat just because I'm making it. Like, you can't make a business out of that. Nobody's coming to you first to eat your food. You want to be secondhand Bill. Secondhand Phil. All right, well, I'm full from all those great games I'm playing. Let me come up. Oh, look at this shit. I wasn't going to buy this. Thanks, Phil. Hey, man. You only could survive so long off of shit fumes. You know? That's why these games need to come sooner than later. Because the shit fumes are not going to keep this thing alive. And that's the problem with this whole thing. Is that it always starts off I wasn't going to buy it. I didn't care to play that game. Oh, it's there. Oh, okay. I discovered it. Good. So, what is it going to be in 2 years from now? Who knows? And when these two consoles are in stock, let's see when the rubber hits the road. Because Phil says that the S is going to sell amazing. That's going to really carry them. And we've been seeing with the S's, Booster's brother, Booster Jr., trying to hang in there at 1080p. All right. Hang in there, dude. So, that was NPD's. Some people thought that these two together were going to outsell this. Sorry, not without any compelling games. If you had some compelling games at launch, maybe you would have cut even, but nah. Gamers are not stupid people, and that's why I do this, because we're not stupid. And we speak up if shit goes awry. And speaking about talking about things that go crazy, and when gamers voice their concerns, let's talk about Cyberpunk 2020. Yeah. Things are going to change.
It's time to quit jammering before I start hammering.
These shiesty son of bitches manipulated review scores. And maybe if they released a buggy game and patched the hell out of it, maybe they would have had a saved face. But these guys, CD Projekt Red, went from industry darlings to industry jokes. Witcher 3 was the best game ever. Dude, now they're a friggin' joke. And they tried to manipulate review scores. And I've said this before. PCs are not consoles. Consoles are not PCs. So PC dudes, do whatever you do on PC, tinkering, tankering. PCs are not consoles. Keep your shit over there. Consoles are not PCs. Okay? They're not. So I recall, and you see what they said. First of all, we would like to start apologizing to you for not showing the game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered, and in consequence, not allowing you to make a more informed decision about your purchase. We should have paid more attention to making it play better on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. No shit. You want to know what else? Not allowing us to make a more informed decision, the sons of bitches were taking content down if it wasn't from their shit. It is. Witcher 3 Combat's trash. The only thing that Witcher 3 got correct was the missions. The side missions felt like full-fledged missions, and that was a great thing for them. Witcher to Glitcher. To Shyster. Whatever the hell they call them. They took down people's videos if they showed content from the previous generations. They only wanted their greenlit content, showing it on the best PC, the best way to show it. Now, I understand publishers want to show their games at its best, but you cannot hide it on the older consoles, especially the glitches and the stuff that's been on there. Now, they delayed this a bunch of times. And if you remember, they talking about last gen. Remember this doozy of a video. It was supposed to launch next to our wonderful No Future Xbox. The future thing. No future. No future for you. Yeah. It was supposed to launch next to this dude. And they delayed it. Yeah. How's that? They weren't showcasing it on last-gen consoles. But they had a marketing deal with Microsoft and made a custom console about it. And we're going to launch it. And it came with the code. But they didn't feature it. And instead they delayed it. And they tried to hide it behind next generation consoles. Thinking that, oh, well, if people play it on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, then, they won't see all the glitches and bullshit that it's not really working well on the last gen consoles. Like, Phil got finessed. That's right, Mod. Phil got finessed by CD Projekt Red. They finessed the Phil. They used all their best-looking shit to market the game. And if anybody showed anything else, they took it down. They hid the current gen versions of the game, or the last gen versions of the game. And I think they did it purposely. Delayed this game to come out with the new gen systems so they could call it last gen and make it look inferior. But you want to know what? This thing was supposed to come out primarily on those consoles and get upgraded to the next generation. So you're trying to finesse everybody going like, well, it runs good on the current consoles. Bullshit. He was supposed to come out with this thing. That's right. He's making that Game Pass offer. But they told you on the console, no future. But the thing is like, they hid the worst performing version of the console. Like, nobody was going to find out. And that's bullshit. And by doing that, they manipulated the review scores. They made everybody review it on PC. Let me ask you something, Grinders. Let me ask you something. If you are a reviewer and you're reviewing a game on PC, are you using an E-machine? Are you using like a 780 Ti bullshit? Or you're going to have a pretty beefy PC to review PC games on? Like, do you think IGN may be using an E-machine? Like, or a business computer, or an IBM computer? No. Pretty much everybody has, they probably were the ones first in line to go grab a 3080, a 3060, or whatever the hell it is. So not only are these running on, this is running on PC, but I am sure the configurations of these reviewers' PCs are pretty damn high considering they're reviewers of video games. All right, I don't think these dudes are using a pre-built Best Buy cyber PC build with some budget-ass AMD bullshit in it and reviewing the games and have a website. All right? I think these guys have pretty beefy-ass PCs. So not only are the PC scores jacked up, but they're reviewing it on higher-end PCs. This game got performance issues. Now let's click on the PlayStation 4 reviews. Oh! 5 people reviewed it and reviewed the bombing shit. Gamers Bibles. Speak the truth. Gaming Bible. IGN gave it a 4. Things are going to change. We're on the cusp of change, everybody. Because they manipulated not only us, they manipulated the reviewers and the reviewing websites. And they made these reviewing websites look like fools. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Which version, bitch? Oh, what? I played it on PC. A 10 goes across. Which version, bitch? And because of that, it is going to get freaking destroyed by reviewers right now. Good on IGN for their dopey asses. But everybody's going to destroy this game on console. They're going to destroy it. Because they manipulated the review process. Good on them. Give it to them. Give it to them. Give it to them. Oh, shit. Dominic says it doesn't run good on high-end PC either. Give it to them. fake ass bitches. Now, my thing, I haven't played it yet. I got it in the 2-for-1 sale at Target. So my shit may be on its way. But I got it to buy 2, get 1 free. Like I said, it's free. It's for me. And that's about as much I'm going to pay for this trash. Goddamn free. I got Call of Duty, I got Godfall, and I got this shit for free. Who knows? Free might be too much. Who knows?
Don't get dramatic now, all right?
Shut up, Tony. Who knows? And it still has bugs. Oh, wait, whoa, 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 Glenzo, whoa, 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 whoa. Watch this. This one, I almost fell out of my, when I saw this review, maybe they took it down. Yo, where is it? Holy, this. Dude, I'm sorry. I like Windows Central. I think they're nice people. But man, oh man, they gave this game 100. And they say here, despite an oppressive array of bugs and glitches, it remains an experience without peer. How does this game get 100 despite wait a second. Despite an impressive array of bugs and glitches? We give this game 100. The best game I have ever played. I am overjoyed right now. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad game. But man, they friggin' cyberpunked you. Phil you. Woo! Metacritic for console version of Fallout 76 is higher than Cyberpunk. Jesus. But man, this is the one that stood out. I'm like, despite the bugs and glitches, geez, how are we giving this game 100? Give it a 95 at least. Jesus. I gotta know your Windows and hurrah, hurrah, Windows on Steam and Windows 10 Store and Phil Spencer, no future of Xbox. I know, but shit. So now my good friends over at the better review site OpenCritic gave them the slap ass. Oh, yeah.
This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
Oh, yeah.
Strap this on your
bitch
sore
slap.
ass plane.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got
That's
time
right.
for that.
Hit him.
Ain't nobody got
Hit him with
time
the
for
horns.
that. Ain't nobody got time
Hit him with the
for that.
horns.
Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
You bastards! You vicious, heartless bastards!
I'm going to throw this one in, too.
We're really focusing
Just
first
'cause I
on what
want
it
to.
means to play these games on your phone. So we thought about how can we get as many people playing on a phone as possible.
Oh, shit. Phil, what did he get in there? He threw himself in there. What the hell? Phil, how'd you get in there? Game has significant disparities in performance. Player experience and review scores between PC and next-gen consoles, Xbox One, and PS4 versions. OpenCritic team and several critics suspect that developer CD Projekt Red intentionally sought to hide the true state of the game on Xbox One and PS4 with requirements such as only allowing pre-rendered game footage in reviews and not issuing review copies for PS4 and Xbox One versions. This notice will be taken down on February 2021. Hell yeah. And you want to know what else? You want to know what else? This scraps the whole bullshit of Phil goddamn Spencer in July where he's like, it just scales. Scalability. It's been happening on PC all these years. It plays on the highest NPC and it plays on the low. These games are built to scale. Nothing's getting held back. Oh, the scalability. Oh, the scalability. And then there come all the trolls on the internet. Phil says scalability. What do you mean next-gen exclusives? Scalability. Oh, my God.
We're really
the
focusing
phones.
first on what it
Phil,
means to play
please.
these games
oh
on your
my God,
phone.
the
So we thought about how can
scalability.
we get
Don't
as
forget,
many people
you're
playing
my
my
number one
God.
as
customer.
possible.
What happened? What happened? Scalability. Phil, oh, PCs and phones and consoles are all one family now. They're the same thing. Oh. No, they're not the same thing. So nobody should take a review of a PC, a game being played on PC, and tell me that review holds the same weight and water across all platforms. That's lazy bullshit. PC games should be just like how they're always reviewed. Review that shit separately and put that shit in a corner and let all those PC dudes enjoy themselves on how the game runs at all different types of graphics cards and put that shit on another part of the internet away from the consoles. PC games should not be reviewed and stand as equivalents for console games. If you get a PC game to be reviewed, you should say, where's the console version? Because I need to review that too, bitch. That's what you do as a review website. And because review websites were lazy sons of bitches and just said, well, they only gave us the PC version, so I'm just going to say here it is. And that's the one they're going to run with. And no console version reviews in sight because they withheld them. People taking the PC version and going, God tier, 10 out of 10. Shit's going to change. Shit is going to change. And you know what else? This whole scalability bullshit, that's going to change as well. Because I saw today, people going, I saw our good friend Paris, the guy who sat in the yellow chair and loves Cyberpunk, playing it on PC, loves Phil Ness. Yeah, he came out today and goes, you know what, scalability, about that, I'm wrong on that. They should just drop Halo from the base Xbox versions. Oh, shit! Oh, you woke up now. You woke up now. Oh. So all that horse shit that people running around with in July about, you woke up. Shit that I've been saying, you leave that shit behind. Oh no, scalability. It works on PC. Yeah. So everybody decided, they already started talking, well, you know what? Halo being delayed to next year, maybe they should just drop the Xbox One version. Maybe. Phil already dropped the Xbox One version of Flight Simulator when next-gen console exclusive was supposed to be not moving the industry forward. Remember that in July, too. Guy talks out his ass. They're trying to figure this shit out. They're irrelevant. Phil and friends need to shut up because the shit that you're saying is not real. It's not working. Maybe it sounds great when you're roasting marshmallows and s'mores, but it's not the facts. It's not what's going on. And let's see your ass developments do it. You run shit games. You're trying to find quality in your first party. So let's see you make it run beautiful on all these platforms. Because you know what's going to happen if Phil wants to keep that vision? He's going to make damn sure that game is optimized for the base-ass consoles. And you know what that's going to do? That's going to make the Series X version not really fully utilized because he's going to find more pressure to make sure that these games run on old-gen consoles. That's how this shit's going to change. So for cross-gen games, they're going to make sure that their game is playable and functional on the weaker software, on the weaker hardware, because they are not going to fall into this thing where they're going to want separate reviews. Oh, I know Metacritic. VC, what's up? Yeah, I know Metacritic needs category, the scoring system, story, graphics, technical issues. Yeah, I know that, the way these things are designed. But you could see OpenCritic took a stance to this. And I think Metacritic is gonna maybe make it more. Stuff is gonna happen. I don't know what, but this is gonna change. Things are gonna change. What they did to this biggest game, because this thing sold like crazy too. What they did, how they kind of withheld those things. And they're like, oh, they gave them kind of like embargoes and shit. Yeah. Either reviewers are going to fight back, or these websites are going to be smarter going like, well, we're not going to upload our review until we review all platforms. That's right, Mog. Yeah, it is. But I think the thing is, Mog, I think why Metacritic got that and the way this kind of got manipulated too, and I think there was something that was stated. It is glitch. There was something that was stated that the executives are saying is that nobody's getting bonuses based off of that, because guess what? They put out the PC version, get that Metacritic score above a 90, and if they get bonuses based off of a Metacritic score. And, if you're going to put out a buggy console version, why do you want to lead with that version and have your Metascore maybe that you don't get bonuses? That's why they withheld their bonuses, because they manipulated the Metacritic scores, which was based on their bonuses. And I'm saying people are going to, something's going to change. Something will change. Either there will be some reviews, but this is something that. That's right, Dominic. The thing that pisses me off is that that after every show, Phil went in the bathroom and said, look in the mirror and said, I fooled him again. Yeah. It's just, the thing is like, shit's going to change. Because what CD Projekt Red managed to do was manipulate the system. And they manipulated it for monetary reasons, for bonuses and stuff like that. And you know what? It takes somebody to ruin it for everybody for it to change. And I think this is the last thing I want to point out here too is this is some bullshit right here. They're going to have a patch 1, patch 2 in February. So together, this should fix most of the problems that gamers are facing on last-gen consoles. We'll be informing you about the contents of each patch ahead of their release. They won't make the game look on last gen like it's running on a high-end PC or next gen consoles, but it'll be closer to the experience that it is now. So it's going to look the same. Maybe they tear it back a little bit, and they're going to fix all the glitches and shit. Now, this is the crazy shit. Finally, we would like everyone who buys our games to be satisfied with their purchase. We would appreciate it if you would give us a chance. But if you're not pleased with the game on your console and don't want to wait for updates, you can opt to refund your copy. For copies purchased digitally, please use the refund system on PSN or Xbox respectively. And we've seen both of them reject this. Now, I think Xbox is a little bit more liberal. You can do this easier. PSN, I've seen people getting rejected. So it's going to piss them off too. Because there was a lot of pre-orders and a lot of shit. That now you think Xbox and PlayStation are going to come together and go, yo, this shit can't happen. Either we have to have another quality review or we cannot release buggy-ass games because people are not going to stand for this shit anymore. So maybe they're going to have a preview nomenclature on it or something along those lines. But shit is going to change. Now, this one I think is hilarious. For boxed versions, please first try to get a refund at the store where you bought the game. Should this not be possible, please contact us at the Help Refund CD Projekt Red, and we'll do our best to help you. Can you imagine going back to Target and giving them an open game and saying, oh, the developer told me to return this to you? I'm walking in with this official letterhead. I'm going to walk in with this. I'm going to print this out. Like, I'm going to have this big-ass yellow letter and going, look, they told me to return this to you here at Target. They go, our policy is not to return open software. But the dev said that I could return. Here, look. Here's their letter to me on the internet. Good luck with that. Maybe they'll send the letter to all the Targets and Walmarts, like maybe on better letterhead saying, hey, this shit's happening. Maybe they'll be there. But I do think it's pretty funny. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just walk in with an open version of the game to Target and be like, yeah, the dev sent out a letter on Twitter. I got this letter on Twitter from the dev, and they told me to bring it back.
Take it back! Take it back!
I'd probably be better walking in with this sound clip as a better success on that shit.
Take it back!
Yo, what's up, Moscow? How you doing?
Take it back!
I suppose just walk in and go, eh.
Take it back!
Sorry, sir. We don't take back open games.
You son of a bitch.
Put that cookie down now!
But, oh my God, imagine, Dominic? Yeah. The size of these patches. And know what else is even crazier? Guys, hit that like button. You know what's even crazier? Is that we don't even know when the next gen versions are coming out for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One. We have no freaking clue when. I even saw, I think Jason Schreier put out a tweet. He says it might not even come in 2021. What? If they're coming out with patch 1 and patch 2 in January and February, just to fix the old-ass versions of the games, when the hell's the patch for 2020 for the new consoles? Oh, is it Sam Ash? Kindergarten Cop is on now? I love that movie. Jingle All the Way got to be on, too. We got to be watching that, too. But it says, a note from CDPR. Please excuse little Timmy from having to keep Cyberpunk 2077. You walk in with the yellow paper. They're like, who the hell made this thing? No, this is from their official Twitter account. They told me to bring it back to the store. I know, Mog. Horizon, man, yeah. I thought we were going to see more Horizon at the Game Awards, but I tell you, Sony again. Sony flexed Returnal and just sat. And, this is the issue, too, that's a challenge. It's like, 2077. This is the challenge, is that Sony, by Microsoft showing all these games that might be out, you think Sony is sitting there going, hey, I'm going to show all my games right now, gameplay, there's no pressure on them. And this is the problem. When one company is not putting pressure on the other one, Sony could, we might have to wait longer to see these games. It'll be on 3 discs. Oh, they're probably definitely, when that thing comes out on the next gen consoles, they're going to do like a relaunch. And dude, I don't even know what they can do. Like, they need to make like all their DLC free. I don't even know. I have no friggin' clue, but all I know is that this shook the gaming industry because this game sold numbers. Yes, I saw that same action. Yeah, this game made numbers, dude. This thing shook. And the fact that they were able to manipulate Metacritic, manipulate the gamers, and all this stuff, and take advantage of this shit and try to get bonuses with 90 Metacritic scores and have the best version and shut down anybody. Like, they took down Dreamcast guy's video. I remember he was showing it playing on the X. And he said, in my impressions, I watched it, and then they took it down. Then I was like, oh, well, they did that too with Last of Us. Remember, they took down all Last of Us shit and stuff like that? And The Last of Us 2, and because they didn't want story spoilers and shit like that, but still, like, you didn't think anything, like, oh, they're just protecting their IP, it's a big game, no spoilers and stuff like that. Ryan says, bring me a note from Keanu Reeves and we'll talk. You have to come in and say, Keanu, you're breathtaking, and then you can return the shit. But The Witcher 3 Remaster was supposed to be free. If you had the game, they'll just give you the free update. So, they got that. Buddy Cactus says, Sony is so comfortable now, Jez, that they say, let's just do our own game show. We ain't worried. Yeah, we ain't worried about Microsoft. Yeah, I know. You know, I don't know. Like, you know, the fact that they just use the Game Show Awards, and they really don't use the Game Awards, because the thing is that Sony uses the Game Awards for what they are, a celebration of their games winning awards. You know, that's the thing. Like, they're basically, they use the Game Awards to, like, I'm sure Last of Us 2 sold more when it won Game of the Year. I'm sure Ghost of Tsushima being nominated made it more recognizable for people to buy. Like, the fact that Sony's games are in the awards, like, why would you take the games that they work so hard to make, like Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, and just destroy the announcement of it winning by showing some banger trailer for God of War? Why would you take away from the work that people did and they're winning awards and they're being recognized and going, I got a brand new God of War trailer that everybody's going to talk about. Screw Last of Us winning Game of the Year. But I got this. Let's show Uncharted. Let's show God of War. Let's show Horizon Zero Dawn. Show all our games. Oh, yeah, and our games won some awards too. But, like, Sony doesn't do that. Instead, they sit back. They let all their games for the year win the awards, get all the recognition, and they throw in a Returnal. Here's some games here and there. Microsoft has no friggin' Game of the Year nomination, so they could go announce a console. They could go announce the Initiative's new game. They don't have no representation in any of the goddamn categories, except for, like, Best Direction bullshit. Or Best Indie. Or Best Simulator. They're not in any of the Best Director, the Best Game of the Year awards. They're not even in it. So, of course, Phil could come out and say, well, here's our new console. Oh, here's what the Initiative's working on. Like, you showed a Perfect Dark trailer. Why couldn't you use that Initiative trailer in July with Halo? But because Microsoft really has very limited representation at these Game Awards, yeah. Announce our console. Woohoo! This is what it looks like. Well, Phil, it's the Game Awards. Announce a console. Hey, we're bold. Okay. And Sony just, I don't think so. Nintendo don't do it either. Nintendo's not showing Metroid trailers or Zelda. Zelda was nominated, like, Zelda was in the nomination for biggest game of the year. Like, most anticipated game. Nintendo didn't use the Game Awards to show Zelda. Nintendo didn't show Metroid. Nintendo didn't show anything. They announced a new Smash Brothers character. Sony and Nintendo used the Game Awards to announce a little stuff. Like, yeah, here's a Returnal. Here's our next game that's coming. We're not going to give the big ones. Here's a little one. Nintendo's like, here's Smash. Here's some, here's some Psychonaut. Here's some shit. Microsoft's using it for big news. Guys, did you wait a second? You guys talking about the Cyberpunk chairs? You're right. We're gonna wrap this up with the Cyberpunk chairs. We're gonna wrap this up with the Cyberpunk chairs because you guys did not know those yellow Cyberpunk chairs. You hear it? Yeah, now grinders. Hit that like button, share it out, hit the subscribe button. Let's go. Let's get these subscribers here because we're going to wrap this up speaking about the Cyberpunk chairs. Because you guys did not see the brand new feature of these Cyberpunk chairs. Did you see, all these reviewers came out today and everybody with those yellow sides, and you could go back. You could go back, guys, and you could listen to when I said don't trust anybody sitting in a Cyberpunk chair. They've been compromised. I said it here, and I said it on Twitter. They've been compromised. I thought it was really weird when I saw more Cyberpunk chairs than gameplay of the goddamn game. But anyway, everybody with those Cyberpunk chairs, they have a hidden feature that nobody knows about. And it was activated today. So I got the video clip here of what the Cyberpunk chairs are able to do. So guys, please hit the like button. Subscribe here if you're new because you're going to get some good-ass shit from this channel. Good-ass entertainment, good-ass truth, and a passionate gamer. The grinders know. And I thank you all for the support. But let me show you the brand new feature of the Cyberpunk chairs. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Cyberpunk chair feature exclusive to all those Cyberpunk chairs. Here it is. I can't. Work out.
See, because he was behind you over here.
Oh my god. Oh man. Oh my god. Oh shit. Ow. Jesus Christ. That's a... Oh my god. Oh, oh my god. Oh man. Those cyberpunk jazz, man. Oh my god. I'm doing it one more time because this shit is hilarious. Oh, Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Oh my god. The way they zoom in on that thing going like, oh shit. Oh man. Hit that freaking like button. Holy shit. Holy and one last message from the CD Projekt Red guys. You. Woo! Oh man, I gotta stop laughing. Everybody, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new here, and thank you again for a wonderful double banger. Awesome, grinds my gears. I'll be back soon, probably in another few days. We'll do another Grindhouse next week. Oh man, but thank you again, that was hilarious. But guys, hit that like button on the way out, share this video out, and again, thank you again for the support. Have a safe, happy holiday. I'll be back next week with one more Grinds My Gears before the end of the year. And with that, everybody, I am Ghost.